Alright, Sketchyfish, so I'm going to do this video for you real quick. Try to make it as quick as possible. So let's do the Ed one first. So we're going to go ahead and watch these replays. I'm just going to highlight the important stuff, and then we can chat about the little nuances later. Let's just jump right into it. So, okay. So in this space here, what I noticed the first time I checked out the replay, I noticed that we like to go for things that we feel we're privileged to do, but the reality is that you have to earn the ability to do the things that you're trying to do. So Fireball is okay at this range, but notice how we threw a roundhouse out, which is very dangerous if we don't have an idea of our opponent's tendencies. The 2 MP, crouching medium punch, I don't mind that. This is all great. And I did notice, by the way, that you do blast in neutral. I don't know what the purpose of that is. It's generally not a good idea. I would avoid using it, but I don't know what the purpose is for it, so I'm just going to wait till you let me know what the purpose is for that. But this right here, Yoga Arches are one of those things. So Roundhouse and Yoga Arch, anything that is high committal like that, where it covers a specific ground or a specific area and have a lot of frames to invest. So we're talking the startup frames and the recovery frames of these moves. They're very risky to throw out when you don't have an idea of your opponent's approach. So the fact that this was not even a setup, like we knocked him down, he already had woken up and we still threw it out, tells me that this serves no purpose outside of the fact that you just want to get it out. There's no reasoning behind it. It's just being done. And the reason we want to, the reason why I frame it in a way that we have to earn these moves is because things like this happen. It's very easy to react to the startup of an arch. There's nothing you can do here. And one thing that you have to understand as a sim player is when neutral is completely averted and they get in like this, you've pretty much already decreased your chances of winning the game significantly. So now we gotta deal with all this. This is good. Another thing that I noticed watching all your replays is you really like to medium kick slide out of the corner. This is not a bad decision, but it's a very risky decision that you have to be aware of. In this case, it works, but as most good players will do, once they notice that that's a habit of yours, they can punish you pretty badly. And always remember, medium kick blast does not move you forward like heavy kick blast does, so that's why this didn't combo. So a missed opportunity there. We do medium kick slide again, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's very risky. This is another move that is a very big investment. So instead of doing medium kick slide every time you're in the corner like that, you can actually just walk yourself out and use crouching medium punch, standing light kick, things that cover the same ground and that are you still recover in time to at least be able to interact. You do a medium kick, if you do a medium kick slide and it's poorly spaced, you're automatically screwed. Okay, I'm gonna let the replay run through. Yeah, see those heavy blasts are dangerous. Okay, great. Do we do medium kick slide again and we get punished? And then this is something, again, it's another trend that I wanted to highlight, is we have a bad habit of teching when we don't need to. So I understand that this is a 50-50 mix-up, but you always want to play the numbers game, right? The chances of you dying from a throw are 0, and the chances of you dying off of a punish counter is extremely high with this much meter. Right? So we always take the throw there. So you have to have a presence of mind when you're on defense. You're going to have to give something up. So even if you did assume that was a throw, it's even safer for you to do like a heavy kick drill if you think the throw is coming versus doing the tech, because you just pretty much gave him the win there. But let's keep rocking. Okay, so again, this is the theme. I understand that this is to control airspace and also to cover the ground. This is not bad. What I have a problem with is that Fierce. This gets you into trouble later, by the way. The Fierce, again, has so much startup and so much recovery that if this was blocked, you're screwed. A better option here is, again, a faster normal. Once you register that whiffs, we gotta do something else. It's a very dangerous move. So the heavy blast works out for you again. I still don't understand the purpose of it. And I want you to realize that, again, when we concede neutral off of a tech, or it was a throw attempt, I'm assuming, which wasn't guaranteed because this blast does not hit close enough, we get ourselves into trouble. So when we concede neutral, again, if we're going to take that risk, you got to be prepared. Okay. Plenty of time to anti-air those neutral jumps, but that's okay. I like that. That's great. You had some momentum going here, which I really liked. That's what I have a problem with. So this is all great. Okay. Luckily that hit, so you're +5. We do a meaty fireball, which is great. He perfect parries. Throw another fireball, which is generally safe. This 2MP is already kind of risky because you're only +1. Right? Or, sorry, you're -1 here. But you're still very safe. But 2MP being a 12 frame normal, this is a 13 frame gap that he could easily have pressed the button. So just be careful. But the problem I have is that you canceled into Arch. Granted, I understand that maybe you assumed that he was going to jump. But you need to earn that. You need to earn this Arch. Because we don't have enough information to prove that he's going to try to jump out the corner. What would have been better for you to cancel into is like medium flame or another fireball even. Or actually not even another fireball. Since you did 2 fireballs, I probably would have just done flame or not canceled at all. Because by this time I'm assuming that he's going to do an action. And again, I understand that maybe that action you thought was jump. But we haven't gathered enough information to prove that. So he's out. And that was a winning position. Great. I like that. Fortunately, it's not real. Okay, we tech. And then we immediately go for medium kick slide after a tech. This is, again, another big Dalsum habit. But generally, this is safe, right? 0. And we get this. This is very hard to confirm, so I'm not going to nitpick. But this was a kill situation that you didn't take advantage of. It's important to note. If you can hit confirm this into OD flame instead, you would get a higher damaging combo, potentially kill, right? You'd get level 1 after OD Yoga Flame, and if you're really good at confirming, you could easily have done back medium kick into DRC, which guarantees the kill 100%, right? But we give him a slight chance to win here, or we've increased his odds of winning because we didn't go for the kill. And he could have killed you there. Again, we're sliding out of the corner. That option I don't mind because he was obviously looking for slide. Okay, we're panic DIing now. And then we give up the game again with a slide, right? So this is a problem. We need to fix that. So again, don't medium kick slide out of the corner so often that it gives them a free punish. Like they just have to space themselves like a micro step. It's very easy to punish medium kick slide. Instead, present other options like I don't know, even a TP, instant air teleport is enough. Like you pay the tax of getting hit, but at least they can't kill you off of it, you know. So this being the second game, I think what this player had realized was that one, your defense is very easy to open up, and all he just needed was an opportunity to be in front of you, right? So that's why this this jump is very good because you've always either committed to fireball or a big normal, right? And again, this roundhouse is not a bad option, but you didn't earn this, right? We need to do more faster pokes like 5 MP, standing medium punch, crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, faster normals that are less risky but serve the same purpose. This roundhouse would have just net you a little bit more damage, but it doesn't give you, it doesn't protect, or I'm sorry, it doesn't act as a safe, proactive move. Usually you're using roundhouses to punish people for very predictable ground game, right? They stand in certain areas, they're trying to walk and block. But when you haven't even established a ground game, this becomes a very risky normal. And of course, he punishes you for it. And this is the one opportunity that we're talking about that he needed. And the reason the perfect parry the perfect rounds happen is because he had realized that you don't have defensive presence of mind, right? At this point, he doesn't really have to overextend, which is why he's going for the throws. And again, although tough, I don't blame you again because it's a 50-50 situation. Although I don't blame you, that tech again was not good. We play the numbers game, right? Like I was saying. So we take one throw, no big deal, didn't kill you. Here, if we take another throw, we earn another chance at defending ourselves. We get shimmied, we die, right? We press a button, we die. So sometimes you have to, you've already thrown away the defensive option of throwing, if that makes sense. Like, when you have this much health, sometimes we can gamble, right? Using risky defensive options like teching a throw. But here we have to be a little bit more, you know, careful with our decisions, right? So we took this throw here, that's a great throw take. And then we tech. By this point, you have to assume that, you know, what's my safest option if I do get caught in this situation again, right? You're already thinking ahead. So he sets you up for failure there. Okay, remember how I was saying that this was going to get you in trouble? We do it again, right? So in the first game, we do float roundhouse into fierce. It's like it's almost autopiloted. And again, you're throwing out a move without earning it. Standing heavy punch is such a laggy normal. It's very slow. So it's very easy to get caught. And again, the theme of this, the reason that we're getting steamrolled is because there's no presence in neutral. And the moment that a sim concedes that, and they just are right in front of your face, it's pretty much game over. We have to rely strictly on defense here, which again, what I've noticed is your defense isn't very decisive. It's either I tech or I block, right? You have a lot of other options. You can perfect parry potential meaties. You can backdash throws. You can heavy drill throws, which is actually one of the better options if you think a throw is coming. Right? And then you see how this is kind of like a cycle. So medium kick slide out of the corner after a tech. Yeah. So the perfects were just an exploitation of a lack of neutral control and just very poor decision making on defense. That's the only reason he was able to get the double perfect. It's very makes perfect sense, right? No pun intended. So let's do the Ken one. By the way, I apologize for all the ambient noise. I got my window open. It's fucking hot as shit. Okay. See, this is good, right? So I'd rather see more of this. Because on block or on hit from this range, we're fine. But again, before we've earned it, we extend ourselves with this button. And granted, I understand that you were probably trying to hit him on the start of this fireball, but it wouldn't have net you much. It doesn't. You don't. Like, I think people, especially sim players, we often misunderstand the purpose of these big normals, right? A lot of people think that it's like super high reward and it's great if you hit these big buttons because it does a lot of damage. The reality is it's actually a lot of risk for very little information on what it's supposed to be punishing anyway, right? And that roundhouse, again, concedes neutral. So now you're fucked. You gotta deal with offense so early in the game. Okay. Looks like we were crouch teching. Yeah, see, here the damage is already done. Mentally. Now you're expecting the throw. I don't like this decision. It works. The reason I don't like it, I know it's kind of a Hail Mary play, but imagine how many situations you have to get in order to even take this health away. In my mind, what I'm going for here is just a typical side switch situation where you could build some meter and still kind of have the same effect, right? So what I would have done was, there's actually several things I would have done here. So a great option is if you hit this DI, you could even do another crouching heavy punch into DI, which puts them closer to burnout. That's a better win condition. But we do catch him by surprise, so I won't be too hypercritical. You can even just do the teleport to the other side stuff. Okay. So this is pretty much a Hail Mary play, right? Because we're going for the reset instead of the guaranteed sweep into heavy flame. It works out. I would have liked to have seen like something guaranteed versus manually timing. We're not in a position to be able to manually time something. We have very little health, right? So the fact that we go for like a shimmy without really knowing how much frame advantage we have here, it just pretty much sets you up for a 2MK on wake up or some random shit on wake up. Okay, I actually like that. Okay, so we need to convert these for more damage. So this should be a DRC. So down back heavy punch DRC into combo. Because although we're taking away some drive meter, it doesn't have the same impact that a life lead would in this situation, right? Because he's still got healthy meter, where like if he gets another DR, he has time to DRC and still build meter and put pressure on you. So this damage is not very significant for the amount of drive gauge that you eliminated. It doesn't really help your case, if that makes sense. Your win condition. So we get another one. And this is slightly better because it kind of like, it adds up, right? But again, I would have done DRC into a combo here. Because any life we take is going to put us in a better position. Because again, as we let this rock, he's in critical gauge now. But we can't really capitalize on it from here. We get guaranteed Oki off of blast. Okay. See, we have to, if we are going to throw out Arch, especially if we haven't earned it, at least be prepared to react to this juggle. It's a little bit difficult if you haven't already started looking for this. But this is a great situation. It's just we did a preemptive down back heavy punch right here, which tells me that you didn't really have a plan after the arch. You just threw it out. And that's something that we have to change. Everything has to be intentional. Okay, and then here, we're waiting for something. And I'm assuming it's jump, because this drive rush is easily checkable at this distance. But we just let him out the corner when we're in a winning position. It's better to stand your ground here because then you can cover the jump and you can cover the drive rush. Outside of that, you don't have to really have anything else in your stack. You don't have to worry about anything else. Right? If you drive rush, you just jab, crouch jab, punish him, get him in the corner. If he jumps, you anti-air, you set up. Do whatever you want. Right? But we let him out for free, which is not good. I like the perfect parry. Again, we have to utilize meter. You earned yourself this. Now, if you did down back heavy punch into DI, now we're looking at taking away this much drive gauge, and he's at a critical state. This is super worth, right? Because since you perfect parried, you're not going to get much damage anyway. No matter what combo you do, you probably get this much. Maybe even here. Right? Not worth. So here, you might as well do DI. But instead, we go for a lame, you know, crouch, medium flame or whatever, and it does this much damage and no guaranteed Oki. Again, it's just a decision thing, you know? Go for Arch, that's fine. Again, utilize meter. You just earned yourself this hit, and you've only cashed out this much damage. When you could have easily DRC'd, you could have just dumped this whole thing and then fucking killed him. But instead, we go for a very, very poor punish. And you had plenty of time because you did 2 back medium picks, right? So there's one, boom. DRC into whatever you want. You can do another DRC, or you can even, if you're just unsure, you can just cancel into OD Yoga Flame after 1 DRC or whatever, and then go into level 1, and it's guaranteed kill. Fortunately, we get away with the round, but every chance that we give them is a chance to die. So we have to be very, very calculated, especially for tournament play. Okay, the classic neutral skip, that's okay. See, these arches get blown up by many players. You're very fortunate that he tried to parry here. But you get blown up. Any button he presses here, you die. So we need to start placing these arches and earning them versus just throwing them out. Okay, there's that medium kick slide out the corner. Yeah, it looks like we got away with a lot of the down heavy punch into DI, and now we're just fishing for it versus it being a response to something. So that tells me that maybe even in the first round they weren't placed, they just hit, because these aren't confirmed, and that's very dangerous because it costs drive meter and now you're burnt out, right? Like there's very little you can do here now. Okay, that's a bad level 2, because that level 3 was your win condition, right? Just take the block here. If he DIs or whatever, it still wouldn't kill you. It's not a critical art. But now you're in no position to escape this if he knew how to jail you. Right? All you had to do was do like a heavy punch into DI or whatever, and you're jailed. You can't do anything. You should have lost here. But fortunately, you get a TP out. Yeah, and then we're kind of just swinging for the fences here. It happens. Yeah, level 3. We don't care to see all that. And that's also a bad decision, because now we're burnt out again. This guarantees the win for him now. There's too much of a life deficit. You'd have to play pretty much perfect to come back from that. Yeah, we only do heavy kick slide on reaction to a fireball. Never on a prayer, because then you get cooked. There's the medium kick slide again. an unnecessary tech again. Again, if you expect the throw, you're better off doing heavy kick drill. And if you want to check the shimmy, sometimes it's better just to go for crouching light punch or standing light punch. Yeah, you see how this is kind of all compounding into very similar situations that we're losing to. Okay, there's that habit again of doing roundhouse float, roundhouse into heavy button. You should have gotten cooked here. Fortunately, you do the perfect parry, which is a good, at least a good save of a habit, right? Like a lot of people will perfect parry after a whiff normal. This is great. This is fine. We don't have enough frame advantage to do crouching medium punch. But it's okay. Yeah, at this point, since you're not displaying any other option outside of tech or block, there's less fear of just rinse and repeating these shimmies. If you had him worried about like heavy kick drill, for example, backdash, and getting punishes off of it, these shimmies happen less frequently. But because you've only presented 2 options, he only has to cycle through 2 options, right? Or he can cycle through 4 and you're fucked. Okay, that arch is fine. Yeah, I think you were probably trying to go for back medium kick there. Nope, you were holding forward. Okay, yeah, just be careful with that. Good DI. Oh no. You went for the reset thing, huh? Yeah. We got too desperate. Okay, so this counter DI is really good. You got what you needed, right? So here, any other decision outside of this reset is a good decision. So like if you go for damage, right? Like if you even just do like a regular combo into a mix, he has to guess anyway. It's a better decision. This here is very risky. I guess it doesn't have too much risk because obviously it's like a surprise attack. Maybe he'd have to be mashing level 3, which he probably wouldn't in this case. So I guess this isn't bad, but we have to be aware of our position. If that counter DI happened directly in the corner, we know this works. But when your back is not against the wall, this is not going to touch. Right? And then here, it's already a win. It's already in the bag. You need to be more patient here. Because in his mind, he's already thinking about DI incoming. Right? Especially after you do it another time. Just hold your ground. But we spend all that meter. Like, look how much meter we had. Jesus. Look at that. All gone. Right? This is our win condition. Our win condition is not being burnt out. He had to work way harder than you did. And instead you basically donated him this round. Okay, we didn't confirm that. Okay. Yeah, and then just a series of unfortunate events after the fact. But it should never have gotten to that scramble to begin with. But yeah, so to summarize everything, I think what you need to work on is being more active on defense as far as mixing your defensive options and making decisions versus doing these defensive options out of habit. So if you think a throw is coming, you have to remember that you have several options. Take the throw if the game state shows that it's better to do that. If you think a throw is coming and you want to punish him for it because you're very confident the throw is coming, you should do heavy kick drill, right? So jump back heavy kick drill, that gets you a punish counter and you get to hit him. If you're in the corner and you expect a meaty throw, you should try backdash. They whiff, you get a free punish. If they shimmy, Sometimes instead of using, if they've been shimming you a lot, sometimes even just mixing in a standing jab or a crouching jab is enough to earn your turn back. You need to present more options on defense and do it mindfully versus doing it autopilot. The other thing is neutral. We need to work on your neutral. Your neutral game is almost non-existent based off of these matches. You're not using our best tools to your advantage. You're using things that we have to earn before earning it, right? So like the heavy punches, the heavy kicks, the arches, those become more powerful and efficient and useful when you've set precedents that you can control the ground safely. So you want to use more medium buttons, more fireballs from distance, like normal fireballs. You want to anti-air, keep an eye on the drive rush. You want to establish a strong neutral game before you start throwing out these risky normals. So if I could go back, if I were you in your position and I can go back, I would just focus heavily on making sure that I can control space at a basic fundamental level first before using any of that other stuff. And then when on defense, be more active on defense as far as cycling through the different options decisively versus autopiloting. And then the third thing is obviously optimizing damage, right? We have to optimize our opportunities. You kind of just were throwing things out whenever a hit landed versus having a solid decision on what type of knockdown you wanted, how you were going to convert on damage, how much meter you had. It didn't seem like you had awareness around these things. So those are the three things that I would do. All right. And then we can break these down into smaller parts after you've watched the video. I know this was, I tried to keep it as fast as possible, but there was just, I tried to pack as much information as I could.